Hello friends. So today we will go through some of the Java interview questions basically on exception handling. So our first question is, what is an exception? So an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of a program that disrupts the normal flow of the program's execution. So this is called a exception. So the next question is, what is an error? An error indicates that a non-recoverable condition has occurred that should not be caught. So error is a subclass of throwable and it is intended for a drastic problem such as out of memory error, which would be reported by the JVM itself. Next question, what is superclass of exception? Throwable is the parent class of all exception related classes. Next question is, what is the advantage of using exception handling? Exception handling provides few advantages over the traditional error management technique. These are the separation of error handling code from regular code, propagation of error up the call stack, grouping error types and error differentiation, unexpected termination of the program. The next question is, what are the type of exception in Java? There are basically two type of exceptions in Java, the checked exception and the unchecked exception. Checked exception is some subclass of exception excluding class runtime exception and its subclasses. Each method must either handle all checked exception by supplying a catch clause or list each unhandled exception as a thrown exception. In unchecked exception, all the exceptions that extend the runtime exception class are the unchecked exceptions. Class error and its subclasses are also unchecked. So our next question is, why error are not checked? An unchecked exception class, which is the error class, is exempted from compile time checking because they can occur at many points in a program and recovery from them is difficult or impossible. A program declaring such exceptions would be pointless. So our next question is, why runtime exception is not checked? Runtime exception classes and its subclasses are exempted from compile time checking because in the judgment of designers of Java programming language, having to declare such exceptions would not aid significantly in establishing the correctness of program. Many of the operation and constructs of the Java programming language can result in runtime exceptions. The information available to the compiler and the level of analysis the compiler performs are usually not sufficient to establish that such runtime exception cannot occur, even though this may be obvious to the programmer. So, requiring such exception classes to be declared would simply be an irritation to the programmer. So, from that point of view, the runtime exception is not checked. So, our next question is, explain the significance of try catch block. So, whenever exception occurs in Java, we need a way to tell the JVM what code to execute. To do this, we use the try catch keyword. The try is used to define a block of code in which exceptions may occur. One or more catch clauses match a specific exception to a block of code that handles it. Okay, so this is about the try catch block. Our next question is, what is the use of finally block? The finally block encloses code that is always executed at some point after the try block, whether an exception was thrown or not. This is the right place to close files, release your network sockets, connections, and perform any other cleanup that your code needs. So if the try block executes with no exception, the finally is executed immediately after the try block completes. It If there was an exception thrown, the finally is executed immediately after the proper catch block is completed. So our next question is, what if there is a break or return statement in try block followed by finally block? If there is a return statement in try block, the finally block executes right after the return statement is encountered and before the return is executed. Okay. So our next question is, can we have a try block without a catch block? Yes, we can have a try block without a catch block, but finally block should follow the try block. So it is not a valid thing to use try clause without either a catch clause or a finally clause. So either of these should be there following the try block. Our next question is, what is the difference between throw and throws? So first let us see throws, used which is used in a method signature if a method is capable of causing an exception that it doesn't handle, so that callers of the method can guard themselves against that exception. If a method is declared as throwing a particular class of exception, then any other method that calls it must either have a try catch clause to handle that exception or must be declared to throw that exception. A method that doesn't handle an exception it throws has to announce this, like say public void say my function, and suppose say it takes some integer argument, throws my exception and then the definition of that exception. Okay, this is how you need to define my exception, or you have to throw my exception and you then have to define the my exception class. Okay, so this was about the throws clause. Now we'll go for the throw clause. So throw is used to trigger an exception. Exception will be caught by the nearest try catch clause that can catch that type of exception. The flow of execution stops immediately after the throw statement. Any subsequent statements are not executed. To throw an user defined exception within a block, we use the throw command, like throw new my exception, and within bracket you can write whatever statement you want to throw when that exception occurs. Like I always wanted to throw an exception, that will be the statement. Suppose you want to throw, then you write throw new my exception, and within bracket and parenthesis, within parenthesis double quotes, I always want to throw an exception. That will be your throw clause. So our next question is, how to create custom exceptions. So by extending the exception class, we can create custom exception. Say class my exception extends exception, then you have to define the my exception then. So our next question is, what are the different ways to handle exception? Okay, there are basically two ways I would say. One is wrapping the desired code in a try block followed by a catch block to catch the exception, or list the desired exception in a throws clause of the method and let the caller of the method handle those exceptions. Okay, so our next question is, if the overridden method in superclass A, try to understand this. If a overridden method in a superclass A throws file not found exception, then overriding method present in class B, which is a subclass of class A, can throw IO exception. Is this statement true? So the overriding method cannot throw any checked exception other than the exception class or the subclass of that class which are thrown by the overridden method. this is this is the thing. So in this scenario, method in class B cannot throw IO exception, but it can throw file not found exception. Why? Is because IO exception is the superclass of file not found exception. If class A being the superclass throws file not found exception, class B cannot throw a restrictive exception than what its superclass is already throwing. Okay, had it been like this, say class A throws IO exception, then class B may throw IO exception or file not found exception. In this case, file not found exception is extending from IO exception. So you are allowed to either throw file not found exception or IO exception if the superclass already is throwing IO exception. Okay, hope you understood this. So our next question is, what are the difference between no class definition found and the class not found exception? So no class definition found error occurs when a class was found during compilation but could not be located in the class path while executing the program. So how can this happen? For example, say a class A invokes method from class B and both compile fine, but before executing the program, an AND script deleted B dot class by mistake. So now on executing the program, no class definition found error will be thrown. So class not found exception occurs where a class is not found while dynamically loading a class using the class loader. For example, a database driver is not found when trying to load the driver using class.forName method. So our next question is, what is the purpose of throw keyword? What happens if we write throw null statement in Java program? So throw keyword is used to rethrow an exception which has been caught in a catch block. The syntax is throw space E, where E is the reference to exception being caught. The exception is rethrown to the client. This keyword is useful when some part of the exception is to be handled by caller of the method in which throw keyword is used. To use the throw null statement will cause null pointer exception to be thrown. So that is about it. So there are many exception question. You can log on to any site and you can search for more such question. These are the basic sets that I would say you may be asked in interviews. So if you liked the video, please like it and also subscribe. Thank you. Thanks for watching.